Hello everyone! What's going on? So in today's video, we are going to be figuring out if Chihiro Rokuhira and Hakuri Sazanami are actually gay. This is by me, Kagurabachi. So, before we get into everything, let me go over my credentials. First of all, I am a straight man. I don't ship, so that means I'm qualified because I don't have bias. Alright, here we go. But before we get into everything again, let's keep in mind that Hakuri is a what the fuck is he again? Hakuri is a dere and Chihiro is a kudere. So we have to keep that in mind with their personalities when we're looking over their potential love story. Anyways, here we go. So starting off with the first meeting, aka love at first sight. Hakuri blows up and he sees Chihiro almost sacrifice his life for his life. And then here's slide number 2. When they first meet, he goes, he needs a samurai. When Hakuri says, what I need in my life is a samurai, and that's you. Now, so far on the gay meter, Hakuri's pretty far up. But Chihiro, on the other hand, is not very far up. He's still down at the bottom. This is all of this is pointing towards gay. So far, Hakuri is so far up the meter, so we can somewhat confirm so far that he probably is gay. Now, here's the next option, number 2. We have so sacrificial. We see Hakuri pretty much take a punch from a continental weapon that would wipe the face of the earth or the continent. He took that in the face, all for Chihiro. So, that's more gay points for Hakuri Sazanami. Let's go to the next slide, where we see so cute, where Hakuri is crying over seeing Chihiro's backstory. That's more gay points. And then we see Chihiro stick up for Hakuri, saying he's not a bad guy, because when I was under Flayboy, he took the hit with his own body. And then he was like, now he's like, I can't hesitate when thinking about Chihiro. So he gets a couple of gay points. Now, here's slide 3. We got, I didn't skip that. Returning the favor. So Hakuri, when Chihiro gives up his sword, he said Hakuri was the deciding factor, and then he said Hakuri's worth quite a lot. Now, this is a kudere, mind you, so he gets double gay points for being so open and honest about his feelings for Hakuri. So he gets double gay points, which matches him up with Hakuri now, so they're now on the same level. Now, here's slide next one. We have growth. We talk about here when he says you gave me the confidence to let go, and this was super cute of Chihiro, so he gets some gay points. And then we see over here when we see Chihiro calling over Hakuri and Hakuri running over pretty much immediately, that is extra gay points. So far we're looking at the gay scale. It's looking like we're getting some confirmation, but we can't be too sure yet because they might just be good friends. The next slide, however, is where we see some more stuff where we see split apart. So they get split apart, but before we get to the split apart, we see them meet up together, and we see Hakuri, he's amazing. Now, when you're friends with somebody and you see him coming to save you, usually you don't say that as a guy unless you're gay, so we could give some extra points to Hakuri right here. And this is just Chihiro being a nice friend. He would say this to anybody, so he doesn't get any extra points, but Hakuri definitely gets some gay points until they get split apart, but then there's no points there because they're just getting split apart. Then the next slide, however, we got right over here, we have knows Chihiro will save him. He's sticking up for Chihiro in the light of his homophobic brother, because we know Soya Sazanami, this guy's a bigoted freak. He doesn't like gay people, but that's why he's making fun of Chihiro, because he suspects he's gay, and that's why he's kicking his brother, because he also suspects that he's gay, and he's trying to deny the relationship. But see, Hakuri, he's like, no, that's Chihiro would never do that. He's a good guy. So that's extra gay points for Chihiro, but not much for Hakuri, not much for Chihiro because he wasn't really here. Oh wait, never mind, he's right here. Actually, we see right here that he's concerned about Shiba and Hakuri, so he needs to hurry. So that's he gets a couple of gay points. Soya Sazanami, he gets some homophobic points, which is bad, so he's going down on the negative scale. Now, the next slide, however, we see over here, we see back together when they reunite again, and we see Hakuri, he's thinking about Chihiro saying we'll do this together. So and then he says Chihiro will come, and he's gonna come, and he will come, so that's extra gay points for Hakuri. And then we see right here, Hakuri is smiling when he sees Chihiro again. Chihiro's not smiling, but he's a kudere, keep in mind, so they both get gay points because they're different, their personalities. Now, on the next slide, we have Chihiro gives him strength. So we see Hakuri, he's thinking about Chihiro in his final moments before he leaves a concussive blast into his homophobic brother. So this is gay points right here because he's thinking about another man before unleashing his full strength. So that is gay points. Now the next slide, however, on the next slide we see equals. So now we see Chihiro right here. He said we wouldn't become equals if I let you do whatever. And then we see here, you know, they talk about doing stuff together again. And then Chihiro is talking bad down on his on Hakuri's homophobic father, and he's like, your best would have been better if you would have just believed in your gay son. So, and we see them do this together again, and you know, so this is gay. Now on the next slide we got so defensive. So we see Chihiro. Oh wait, we're not there yet. So we see, you know, Hakuri. He's talking to Hiyuki, who is also not trying to put an end to this relationship. She's really just trying to kill Chihiro. So it's a little different. She's not homophobic. She's just a little weird. But anyways, Hakuri really sticks up for Chihiro, and he's like, hey, if you hurt my boyfriend, I'm gonna kill you, and that stuff like that. So yeah, that's pretty gay for Hakuri. And then we see right here, we see Chihiro. He's like, Hakuri's talking to Chihiro, and he's like, ooh, can you keep dating me? And so that's gay. And then on the next slide, we have NSYNC. So right here we see, you know, they both crashed out from exhaustion at the same. They sleep together at the same time, and then they wake up together at the same time. So that's very gay as well. And then Chihiro is like, hey, I've got Hakuri on my side because I love him. So that's also gay. So they're so far on the gay scale, they're teetering more towards gay rather than not gay. So we keep that in mind. They're up there right now, and it's looking like gay. But we can't be too sure yet. So we have to keep going forward, because on the next slide we see on the next slide we have bond. So now we see how close their bond is. So we can't be for sure that if they're in a relationship yet, but we know, or it could be in a relationship, but we know they have a bond now. They've become friends, so they're in the friend zone right now. So you know, we see Uruhai, he starts tweaking out. He's like turns into his crackhead phase, and we go, you know, Hakuri starts whispering in Chihiro's ears, whispering little sweet somethings, which is really cute. So but Chihiro's he's a little confused right now because he's a kudere. And then we see over here, he says he's gonna need his help, and Chihiro, oh, this happened in the wrong way. It's okay. Chihiro, you know, Hakuri's always smiling, and now Chihiro's smiling when looking at Hakuri. So they're smiling at each other now, which wasn't really happening before. So right now we don't know if they're just becoming better friends or if they're just gay. Now we have to go on to the next slide where we see, you know, he smells like Chihiro. See, now this is just a big teeter. This is a big boost to the gay part. So Hakuri, he smells like Chihiro. Now the only way he could be smelling like Chihiro is if he's really just rubbing up on Chihiro a lot. So it sounds like Hakuri, he's been cuddling with Chihiro a little bit. So this is a big jump towards the gay. So we can't be too sure, but it's looking like gay a little bit. But we can't be too sure yet until we just see the rest of this. So on the next slide after that, we have a third party right here. So this guy, we don't need to have any confirmation. We know right away he is gay, and that's okay. So we know he's gay because he, like, you know, he's just very tweaked. He's very after Chihiro. He's very persona strong. You know, he's very forward with what he wants, and what he wants is Chihiro. He says he's the only one he could understand you, but Chihiro, he doesn't like that because he's with Hakuri. Potentially, we don't know yet. Oh shit, I accidentally skipped. We're not there yet. Hold on. You didn't see that. Anyways, he says, I'm the only one that can understand you, and Chihiro's like, hey, stop that. I'm with somebody else. And then she's like, oh, I'm ready for you, Chihiro. And that's very gay. That is the gayest part of this whole thing. So we don't need any confirmation. This third party here, he's trying to get in the way of everything, but we know he's gay. But don't worry, because it all got fixed up when he dies. Look at this guy. This is what happens when you try to get in the way of the true romance. So you just need to get the potential romance. We don't know yet. But anyways, after this guy, after the third party is dealt with, we go back to what happens over here, and we see the true kudere versus dere moment, where we see, you know, Hakuri, he wakes up, he's crying, and he really wants him to look out for, he really wants everyone to look out for Chihiro, because, you know, Chihiro might be hurt. And we see on the other hand though, when Chihiro sees Hakuri's hurt, you know, he's like looking at everyone, he's like, whoa, everyone's dead? Oh, but it's okay because Hakuri's okay. So we see the cool, calm, and collectiveness of the kudere, and then we see the hyperactive sadness and excitedness of the Dere in these two parallelism panels right here, pages. I mean, this is the same thing. But yeah, that's what we see right there. So on the next slide after that, however, this is where we get the true confirmation, where we know who is gay. I'll become that samurai. So we get a flashback to the first meeting when Hakuri says, I need a samurai in my life, and Chihiro says, I'll become that samurai. So now we know for sure they are gay, and this is all the confirmation that we need. But there are some extra cute moments that we can go over as well. Like we see right here, this is Chihiro right here. So Chihiro is split off from the pack. Hakuri is also split off. You know, they're split off from each other. And every time Chihiro's name is brought up, all Hakuri could say is Chihiro ... He says this 2 times. That's when you know, we already know they're gay, but this is Hakuri's a little bit on the extra side. You know, he's a little more open with his feeling. He's a little extra with it. Chihiro's not as extra with it. He's trying to hide it down because he has to be the big stone cold main character. But we know if he wasn't the big stone cold main character, he would also be very gay. So in conclusion of everything, why was that laggy? Okay, anyways, in conclusion of everything, they are gay. So we can assume that this is all gay right here. This is gay, and this is the homophobic uncle. There's a lot of homophobic people in these people's families, but they can power through together because with the power of love, you can do anything. So Hakuri, he's got the homophobic brother and father, and Chihiro has the homophobic uncle. So when they power, so that just adds more conflict to their love story, and then eventually it'll be all okay. But yeah, we can come to the conclusion that they are gay. So that's all I have to say. Thank you everybody for watching the gay video for us, because it's Pride Month and we have to support the LGBTQ. See you guys later. Bye. Bye. I mean.
He's pulling his cock out. He's pulling his cock out.